the harsh reality of dating is that nowadays there are more manipulated people with bad intentions than ever before. And the problem is that because of their manipulation a lot of the times is very difficult to see because they give off an air of good people. They don't come across as someone who's willing to hurt you. But the problem is that we respond to people's passive manipulation and passive aggression with more aggression. And like quicksand, when you engage in that dirty game, you get sucked into it, becoming the very thing you hated. And so the key to this is learning the art of non-action. Because non-action is not weakness. Naturally, you have a routine response to aggression, which comes from your learned response as a child, as a creepy little kid. But what non-action says is to reverse that dynamic, to stand back rather than act, to think rather than move, to retreat rather than attack. And it may come across as weak in the moment and to the overly aggressive people who end up being destroyed by their aggression, but long term, it's the wisest decision. And the reason why is because your reaction regulates their emotions. Meaning, manipulative people do it because that's how they feel better about themselves. People who are in your life, given the impression that they want something serious, hurt you because it's the only way that they've learned to feel better about themselves. But when you take away that ecosystem of positive emotions that comes through exploiting they all of a sudden are left stranded. They don't know how to feel better. Their happiness comes from your frustration, from your anger, from poking at you. Because a lot of times these people their talent is reading people's weakness and knowing how to tailor their manipulations to people's weakness. The problem is that anxious people pleasers, are not good at hiding that they are what they are. And manipulators are good at identifying that. They know you more than you know yourself. There's a lack of self-awareness in being a needy, creepy person like me. So your non-action then is what gives you control. Naturally, when they start to manipulate you by playing with your patience, being hot and cold, what naturally happens is that you want to control the situation through taking action. And your emotion says that if you don't do something about it, you lose control. When in reality, not doing something about it clears up the dust. It's like an explosion. The more you wait, the more you see the residues of it. And so because of that, what it does then, once you gain control over your mind, not the situation, but over your mind. And what's that? To understand reality, understand the situation, and acting on it. It's almost like when you have a crime scene and they say don't touch the crime scene, acting destroys the evidence. You have to take your mind out of the situation. And sometimes when you have a problem, a lot of the times we want to text. For example, me, I'm like this, right? My mom is like that, where I don't like you sending me 10 text messages. The more messages you send me, the less likelihood I am to respond, right? And I tell her, I was like, yo, mom, stop sending me fucking 10 messages for the 100th time. Jesus Christ. And she sends. I'm not gonna respond. Your responsibility is to do nothing. Just leave me alone. I promise you. If I see that you stop sending me books upon books, oh my God, Father Alex is really this trauma. Yeah, then I'll respond. But she doesn't. She does the opposite. The less I respond, the more she. And I might look at her and say that's crazy. But then I do the same thing. An example is like with channels, right? When YouTube channels, when I'm not, my channel has been on the downfall, my women's channel, and my thing is to make more videos, right? And I'm like, Alexis, no. The more just take a step back. I took a few days break to think about it, because sometimes when you act, you stop thinking. That's the problem. When you're losing control of a situation, acting is a replacement for thinking. Right? Sometimes you just gotta step back, allow chaos, allow things to go out of control, and just look at what's happening. Things will become clear. The chaos is happening in your life only because you're not taking steps back. Once you take a step back, you start noticing that things are moving slower than you thought they were. They're not as fast. And once you're able to take those steps back, you see things as they are. Meaning, for example, I went to art school and I felt like people didn't like me there, right? And I remember the whole time when I was there, when things are not going your way, your thoughts naturally start to revolve around the same thing, right? Like literally, you start to think the same thoughts even though the situation might be changing. Because of the chaos, it all looks the same to you, right? So when I went to the retreat for 10 days, I came back and then I started seeing things differently. I started seeing that it's not that they didn't like me, but the fact that everyone is just shy. And the truth is, most people don't make friends with people, like just like the very nature of it. And I'm like, so those components that were chaotic to me, they don't like me, oh, why they don't invite me? It's because, wait a minute, they don't even talk to each other. Wait a minute, they don't even like each other. I was exaggerating, right? So sometimes your brain gets comfortable with the chaos because it feels good to feel like a victim, right? So you sort of stay in that. So to reverse that dynamic, you just have to take a step back, people. Like it's really all about taking a step back so that your brain can recover and think more straight, right? Now the next thing is that they start, oh my God, Father Alex is drunk. Shut up, I'm not drinking. Is that they start to make mistakes. What do I mean by mistakes? I gotta get this pen right here. Well then, manipulators they don't wanna connect with you. They wanna fuck with you. Either because they're resentful of the opposite sex, or because they're psychopaths, or because they're cynics. But the point is they wanna hurt you and they wanna see that response. And that's how they feel better. When they don't see that response in you, they first start off sneaky and passive aggressive, but when they don't see a response from you, they start to get really desperate for a response. So then what happens? They begin to commit mistakes. They overextend themselves. When something's not working, what people do is they don't take a step back, right? They don't take a step back and evaluate what happens. They start pounding harder, pounding harder. And that is an analogous to making a mistake and revealing what? Revealing your intentions. Once you see that, then you're able to take back power. Because you're like, this motherfucker's trying to play me. This motherfucker's toxic, right? And once they make mistakes, then you have the power. It's funny, right? Because then, don't you notice how taking a step back not only gives you clarity, but then they start making mistakes. And so you can see how this literally opens up the gates. You open it up through you thinking clearly, and then the other side gets opened up because now they're making mistakes. And this is why it looks so magical. This is literally why things just literally open up for you when you do this. But it comes down to you controlling your emotion. How do you do that? Do nothing. Sit down and observe the breath. Say to your body, say to yourself, I have control over myself. Not through a thought, but through a literal action. You don't do nothing. Just observe the breath and don't move. Things become more clarified. The next thing is that they feel powerless. And when this happens, now you're in control. That's what happens. You see how much control you have over them. Because the truth is they don't have any control over their own lives. They don't have any control. The only way they do that is through creating chaos for you. They start to feel powerless and they start to be more submissive. They start to do things for you to get something out of you. But be careful with those people. They're only doing that so that they can counterpunch you. Doing too much moves you backwards sometimes. Remember, you're panicking when things go wrong. When things are not going your way, you panic and you start overreacting, right? Just like when you're scared, your hand has unnecessary movement, your mind and body and actions also have. And it causes you to take steps backwards. You know? Like sometimes when you're feeling overwhelmed, doing more literally destroys what you have already created. You know, it's like studying. Like if you're trying to study and you have 8 hours Like you study all day and the test is tomorrow. Studying all night is not going to help you actually. It's actually going to take steps backwards. Sometimes just sleeping and allowing your brain to do the rest of the work, allowing your unconscious to consolidate those memories is what you really have to do. But again, fear and anxiety causes you to overreach. It's like when you have kids. If you're scared that your kid's going to get pregnant, it's going to have a kid, you might be too overbearing, which might inadvertently create the very thing you're trying to avoid. All right? And doing nothing also heals your mind. For example, right, I went to a meditation retreat, and there was this one girl who played me big time, right? The first time I met her in COVID, and she would say she would want to meet up and then cancel last minute. It was really infuriating. So I blocked her, but I remember insulting her. I was like, fuck you, you ugly bitch. It's like, fuck you, you motherfucker. Fuck you, you're ugly, you're fat. She wasn't fat, but you know what I'm saying. And that was one of the few times I got triggered. And coincidentally, I met her again. And you know what happened? She did the same fucking thing. It was almost like she's doing it on purpose. Anyways, so when I was in the retreat, I was like, man, I want to text her. I want to hurt her. Not hurt her, but oh my God, Father Alex is a criminal. But you know what I mean, like hurt her. And I was like, why don't you text her and say, hey, you know, I thought what you did, you know, like I was just trying to find a way to like get back. I was trying to find a way to hurt her because she hurt me. What I learned is that doing nothing is the only way for me to get over this. Having her, hurting her, insulting her, giving her back that energy isn't gonna heal me. It's gonna keep me in that cycle. In fact, I'm gonna attract more women like her. And what the funny thing is, in the retreat, that was like I started thinking it like I was feeling angry, but I just kept meditating, and then I forgot about it. I went to the retreat. I was gonna send her a text to almost like to let her know that she didn't hurt me, or say, hey, what you did hurt me, you know. But you know what? I was wrong. I was trying to let her know that even though you hurt me, I healed. And I was like, no, Alexis, just do nothing. Let it fade away. Let it disappear. And that's what happened. You know, I wish her well. You fucking bitch. Like, I'm real pissed off at her, man, because. Like it's rude to do that to people, man. It's really, I think it's rude. She was really rude, but you know, it's on me for going back to a girl who did that shit, you know. So what I did is like not acting on my desire for righteous revenge allowed me to get over it. Because what happens is that when you act on your anger, you're reinforcing that. You're reinforcing it. You're creating more of it. And the next time you meet that situation, your brain is going to say, let me call her out because it felt good to call her out. It felt good to hurt her. Oh, that felt good. But it just keeps you in that cycle. Don't act on it. Don't react to toxicity. Do nothing. And the toxic venom will be processed and it'll actually strengthen you than hurt you. As long as you don't act on it. You know, because it's all about because you know what happens when you act on revenge, you're reinforcing your resentment, and resentment, Jesus, that's a killer. Resentment is a killer, man. It's a psychological killer. You don't want to feel that emotion. That emotion will destroy your life. All right. Anyways, man, your reaction regulates their emotions. Your non-action gives you control. They make mistakes by revealing their intentions because of that. They feel powerless because they can't control you. Doing too much makes you move backwards. Doing nothing heals you, you know? We respond to toxic manipulation with aggression. Instead, we should respond to those types of manipulations with non-action. And sometimes non-action means leaving, walking away, finding somebody else, and just meditating. So I tell you guys, develop a meditation practice. Develop a meditation practice. On a daily basis, observe your anger, observe your resentments. Doing that and doing nothing when you feel those emotions is literally what does most for you, more than any action you could take, all right? Anyways, if you guys want to learn more about this, check out my course, Emotional Mastery. Let's talk about this. You know, it's a good course that teaches you how to not be needy and creepy, that releases your negative emotions, that frees you from your own mind-made prison, and gives you aura in the eyes of the opposite sex. Seriously, like people who know how to apply this just look more confident, you know? Anyways, you can purchase that course on the description down below. Bye-bye.